Welcome back to what episode is this?
54.
That's Capital One.
Capital One, you have a credit card?
Yes.
Dude, when did you get that?
I got it, I think right before my trip to Europe. We're at 310.
Let me ask you a question. Have you been
54.
so do you have like an actual credit card?
Yes.
So what do you use it on?
Like right now? Pretty much only for gas.
Dude, same. How much do you spend on gas per month?
Why?
I'll tell you what mine is first.
Okay.
So I, luckily, in Jesus' name, thank you, I have a car that can take like little gas and go far. Corolla, shout out to Toyota. They're sponsored by Toyota. Let's go places. And I spend $127. This was before our boy got into the thing, but it's $127 per month I spend on gas.
Got into the thing? Oh, yes.
Because I don't want them to
Wait,
know what
hold
side
on.
we're on.
I'm not going to say how much I spend on
Dude, you
podcasts.
literally, are you serious?
I thought we were talking to ourselves.
We are.
You've been speaking in the mic and saying on there. Are you
Whoa.
going to bleep it?
Why would I bleep
Do you want
that?
to bleep it?
Why would I bleep? My
You can bleep yours too if you want.
127, 127, 127. Now I have to bleep all of that. 127.
You can do
you
that.
just, is it more or less?
More.
Sheesh. How much do you have to fill up?
What do you
How
mean?
much do you have to fill up?
Every single day I have 2 50-minute drives.
Dang.
And that's just to work and home.
But you have a pretty nice car that can like hold a lot of gas. I feel like.
Yeah. What are we talking about?
We're talking about economics.
I don't want to.
We're talking about economics.
I don't want to talk about how much I spend on gas per month.
Okay. How much gas do you use per month?
Man, but dude, let's talk about. Welcome back to BC Pro.
That's all going to be in there, by the way.
Episode 54.
It's going to start where you
We
said,
are.
welcome back. And then you said, what episode are we on? That's what I was
We are so happy that you are here to celebrate another episode, another week with us. We are BC Procast, braedon and caeden. Make sure you sit back and relax and enjoy this podcast because today we have a conversation that's going to be fun, it's going to be interesting, and it's going to be around the idea of self-reflection.
Can I actually say something before we get into that conversation? I think the most awkward situations are when you're like, hey, everyone, let's watch something. And like you're watching, so let's say we're watching a fight and then they start cussing and you go, like you're just sitting there like, I was the one who suggested this. And you're just like, and then,
I totally forgot that.
oh, no, this movie's clean. And then something comes up and you're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is always awkward. Or you're like, all right, watch this funny thing, and no one laughs when they're supposed to laugh.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Like there's times where I feel like I have to like pre-laugh to make sure that they laugh.
Yeah,
Like
work them up.
You know what I'm saying?
Work it up to it.
But yeah, self-reflection. I think that's a skill and a tool that I think it's underrated. You know what I'm saying? Oh, actually, I was reading in a book again. This was way before though, but it was talking about self-reflection. And it said that this tool helps you navigate your emotions faster and quicker than most people. And if you get a grasp of this tool, then you'll be miles ahead of competition with other people and stuff like that. So it's like a viable tool to have. Self-reflection. Speak, please.
I was listening to you.
I know, dude.
It's okay. We can have some dead air.
No, dude, we can't have it. Not after me speaking.
No, I think that's very good.
What do you think about that?
What'd you say again? I wasn't really paying attention. No, I was going to say with self-reflection, a lot of ideas and creativity, but also a lot of like problem solving and critical thinking can come from. I think it's a powerful tool, but you kind of have to like use it at the right moments in time of like when self-reflection. And also you have to like find the balance of self-reflection
Yeah.
and like rumination, which rumination's like thinking like of a problem or a situation and spiraling down into like these deep thoughts. Like I was a lifeguard.
Ooh.
I was a lifeguard, and I was actually
You were a
funny story about that. Someone asked me why I wanted to become a lifeguard. I said, to be honest, it was for the girls, to get the girls. But I ended up working at a YMCA where it's only like little kids and like very old elders, people, women. There was at the place I was at, there was no girls. But I think I said that like to one of my bosses one time when they were doing like a review.
Yeah.
And they were like, like of like why I should like get a raise or like my monthly or yearly review or something. Is pretty funny. So as a lifeguard, I often would like just walk back and forth. Like I was called, they would like some of the people I got to know, these older people I got to know. They said I looked like a tiger in a cage, which I'm like, thank you.
That's kind of cool.
Hey, yo, thank you.
Yeah.
No, but the reason why is because I was just paced back and forth.
That's even cooler though.
Yeah. I was just paced back and forth because all you do for lifeguarding, especially if it's a very slow place, is just like you're just doing nothing for hours on end. So I would sing to myself, I'd rap, I would try to freestyle, I would try to think of like jokes, but also in that time, I would think of like a lot of business things, or I'd think about like fights I had, I would think about friendships I have. It actually like it wasn't a good thing. Like there's every person that goes through college has a tough time in college. At some point, they're like, "Why am I doing this?" or something. There'd be times where I'd come home and I'd be like tearing up to my parents, be like, "I'm done with college. I'm gonna do this, and that." And because it'd have to be like a whole on lifeguard shift of myself just walking back and forth, thinking about like, what am I doing with my life right now, rather than going out and achieving these things. And especially during that time when I was doing it, it was when YouTube was absolutely popping off. Like when YouTube was it. Right now it is it, but like when it was like. It was on the all the diss tracks, all the famous vloggers, everyone was daily vlogging and like the biggest names and millions and millions of views, and they're getting millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars from advertising. And it's like when social media was first like rising, it almost felt like. And so I'd like just be pacing back and forth and walking. So that's where it's like important to have the guideline of like what self-reflection is used for, and like. Versus just ruminating and thinking bad thoughts. Because like I would have like say me and you had to fight, I would have a full like conversation with you in my head that we would never have. And then by the time I next saw you, I would have like resentment, and I would have harboring like bad feelings, like bad feelings of you towards you, because like I had a whole conversation and I know everything you're gonna say. But then I would see you, you'd be like, "Hey man, how you doing?" Like just like that, and then I'm like you could breathe. You're like, oh, it wasn't like that. So that's why you gotta find the balance.
Dude, okay, so that actually had like stirred up some questions, because you're talking about that there's good ways and bad ways to self-reflect. There's like you can ruminate, you can make it seem more bigger than what it is. And maybe if you're self-reflecting in a bad attitude, then you're going to think about bad thoughts. So my question to you is, how can you get out of that spiral of ruminating, because with your attitude or your emotions, how do you push that away and have clean and effective self-reflection?
I was listening to an interview with The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Fun fact, if I could sit down and like have a dinner or spend a day with like any like probably 4 people. And I'll just do 2 because the other people can be controversial or whatever. It'd be The Rock and Kevin Hart. I think what they've done in like the landscape of things and where they've come from is like insane. I think, and like also like, never mind. Anyway, it's just from what they've done in the past to now, and like where they have conquered, and they've pretty much been like clean and good, and not like been bad to others. Like they bring life, you know. Those would be super cool people. Anyway, I was listening to an interview with The Rock, and he was talking about like his ability of work, and, like his work ethic, and like constantly moving and pushing to become greater and better and like accomplish more things. And the guy was like talking about like, where does that come from? Like, how do you keep on that? And he's like, it's like mindset. Like, he's like, what you speak about yourself in your mind, you're like, it has a toll. So if it's negative, it's going to be negative. And like right when I was like listening to that, it was like I feel like it was God thing. Right when I was listening to that, I was like thinking poorly about like myself.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. And I'm like, all right. So instead of just being like, you're absolutely dumb, I'll be like, right now you just don't know as much as you can. So you just got to work for it. Like I kind of changed that up. But to answer your question, I think first one, automatic, easy answer, hit a home run with this. Have God be involved with it. But like have your self-reflection be
That's
like
good.
guided and thoughtful. Don't let your like just mind run like recklessly.
Yeah.
Like there's people that kind of talk about like how meditation is not the best thing. And there's like some ties to it to the Bible. I think I've heard from people because you don't want to like empty your mind.
Yeah.
Because like meditation, you empty your mind unless it's like guided, and it's honestly I don't really use the word meditate. This is a prayer.
Yeah.
I just say like pray. I think people meditating are just like thinking about their own life, like self-reflecting, or you're praying to God about it. And that's my personal opinion and like thoughts. A lot of people take it different ways. It's no problem, like but they kind of talk about emptying the mind. So it's like I think if you like don't just like think about stuff, but like it's guided or it's purposeful, or it's like what am I going to get out of this that's productive, good for myself. Like self-reflection should be like a tool for building, or like the self-reflection should also be used for like how can I resolve conflicts, or like come to resolutions with things, like growth and healing. And growth and healing comes from God. You know what I mean?
What's crazy that what you said with that step is I heard once, I can't remember where I heard it from, but they said use God as a mirror of yourself, because it says that God made you in his image. So when you look in the mirror, don't look at your image, look at God. And not that you're a God, right? But like God created you with this. So don't fight it. God created you, for example, if you have a lot of freckles and you're angry that you have a lot of freckles, like God created you for that specific, to have the specific freckles or whatever it is. Like God created you perfect in his eyes. So it's like when you're looking back, or you're like what you're talking about, getting down on yourself, I think taking a moment and using God as a mirror and being like, no, but God is God, and even speaking it out. Like God has made me this way. God made me whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like God had a reason why he made me.
Yeah, it's very good. And so I was listening, but I heard this preacher talk about this concept like of love. And so I'm tying this to your reflection, like looking into the mirror, and like God's our creator, like we should look to him as like the goal. And so there's the verse, 1 Corinthians 13, starting 4, and going to 10, whatever, until I stop. Come on. So he goes, love is patient and kind. Love does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant or rude. It does not insist. Love does not insist on its own way. Love is not irritable or resentful. Love does not rejoice at wrongdoing. Love, but rejoices with truth. Love bears all things, believes all things, and hopes all things, endures all things. Love never ends. As for the prophecies, they will pass away. As for tongues, they will cease, and for knowledge will pass away. For we know. Yeah. Okay, so that was it. But so the preacher was talking about.
Did you say what verse that was?
Yeah, 1 Corinthians 13. I think that was 4 through 7.
Okay.
Let's go through 8, but like only one part of 8. What do you ever like take a verse? So like verses and like stuff like that, the numbering, it was like for us to better understand as time was going on.
Yeah.
But it's like I only like, so for example, starting of verse 8 goes, love never ends.
Yeah.
And then it the verse 8 continues, as for prophecies, they will pass away. As for tongues, they will cease. As for knowledge, it will pass away. But I just want to be like 1 Corinthians 13, 1 13, 4 through 8 after love never ends. You know what I'm saying? Like 8 in a period.
Jill and I were talking about worship to little kids. And so the Bible's real, right? The Bible like talks about real stuff and stuff like that. And sometimes like being a sacrifice might not come around like what we understand it as. So there's this verse that was like a sign of worship is giving your all, period. And then something about like so give yourself like a sacrifice, something like gruesome almost. And I was like, Jayla, should I read that last part? These are like kids. Yeah. I'm like, in the form of a worship. That was verse 8. And then they just keep going. But yeah, I love that because it's like, and kind of going along with that, I feel like we self-diagnose ourselves in certain things, and we don't think that we're lovable. Yeah. We don't think that we deserve people's kindness. And when we get love, we don't know how to take it. Yeah. Like, that makes me so sad.
Yeah. And then the preacher, he was talking about how you take out love and you put like a blank. And he says, you put your name there. Braedon is patient and kind. Braedon does not envy or boast. Braedon is not arrogant or rude. Braedon does not insist in its own way. Braedon is not irritable or resentful. Braedon does not rejoice at wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. Braedon bears all things, believes all things, and hopes all things, endures all things. Braedon never ends, or something like that. And you read, okay, I'll just cut that part. Just 1 Corinthians 4 through 7, okay? So you do the blanks there. Yeah. And as I'm reading that, you go, Braedon, that's not true, bro. Braedon, you don't really follow that standard. Braedon, that's never been true once in your life. Braedon, this. And you realize that you can't ever put your name there. So what you put there is the name that can. So you go, Jesus is patient and kind. Wow. Jesus does not envy or boast. Jesus is not arrogant or rude. Jesus does not insist on his own way. Jesus is not irritable or resentful. Jesus does not rejoice at the wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. Jesus bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, and endures all things.
Wow, that's amazing.
And so to tie it back to your reflection in the mirror, it's like, we're trying our best. We have to die daily to our sins. So like repent and forgive ourselves to try to move on and ask for forgiveness from God. Yeah. But every day that's something we have to do. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, it's tough because like we have to self-reflect in that way, where we look at God and be like, all right, what can we do today to be more like you, and to kind of like chase that thing. And it's like self-reflection. It's like you are looking in the mirror, but like you should try to search out, how you're saying, to look at like where's God in me.
Mm-hmm. I like one that reminded me of one thing. I think a flaw that some people may tend to go towards is, let's say they're trying to do really good at self-reflection, right? They're driving and they go, oh man, I shouldn't have said that like that. Or I shouldn't have said that to Braedon. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I shouldn't have did that. And I think a toxic trait that I sometimes do, or that I fall short in, is I go, man, I'm rude. That was so rude of me to do. Geez, I'm never gonna do that again. Or like I beat myself up for it, instead of giving myself grace and be like, yeah, but next time let's look at that. Let's self-reflect immediately and get that to the point of where I don't have to have these moments of beating myself up. Because I think we can all do better at how we interact with people and show love and show kindness. But I think the biggest thing is not to beat yourself up if you don't, right, initially, right? There's steps. I remember when I first was trying to get rid of my pride, I was trying to be like the kindest person in the entire world. Yeah. But what that did was drained me. Not saying that it was bad, but it drained me because it wasn't who I was yet. And so I was faking it. And when I realized, I was like, oh, I would leave and I'd be like, man, I can't believe I did that. Like, oh, that was so exhausting. And I was like, dude, what? That isn't genuine. That isn't real. and then I had to like learn how to love people, how to love God's people as He loves them, how God loves me. I need to shine that to other people as well. And so now it's started to become real genuine. Like when I see someone sad, I'm like wanting to be with them. I'm wanting to like hear what their thoughts are. I want them to be open. I want them to be loved. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's what you need to have genuine self-reflection. And if you're gonna make a choice or make a goal, have grace to get there. Don't think that you're gonna. I mean, some people automatically get that, right? But sometimes you just have to work at it. But that's what I have to say.
Yeah. And I even think too, like the point of like sometimes when you're going through it, you can also think and be like scared of self-reflection because some people are like scared to be all alone with their own thoughts.
Yeah.
Or even my own times myself, say like something that bothers me goes on, and there's a lot of times where I don't want to think about it and I avoid it, and so like I watch some funny videos or try to distract myself or just go to bed if it's like at night or something. But like that's not always the best and healthiest thing.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, I can't really speak to like I can't speak to the point of avoiding self-reflection,
Mm,
because I tend to do that often.
yeah.
But I do think I like, address it at different times, or I have like different ways to cope because there's different ways to cope after an incident,
Yeah.
or to self-reflect in different ways. So I'm not even the best at self-reflection myself, but I do think, I try to take opportunities to learn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We're all trying to be like Christ. We're all trying to be like the one who's created us. So I think everyone in this world has opportunities to become better and become just like this beautiful creature. I think everyone's beautiful. I think you're really beautiful, Braden.
Oh, thank you.
And you've taught me a lot.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
See, there's a dead space again. You did it twice, 3 times.
No, well, I'm just thinking
I'm
of
counting.
like, we really kind of like hit this self-reflection
Yeah,
on the head.
No, I know. And then every time you've spoken, I've taken the opportunity to have no dead space.
Well, no,
you're
you've let
so much dead space.
Do you know sometimes when someone says something that's like good, you just
Yeah.
go like, you marvel at it.
Yeah. Well, I need you to marvel with words.
What do you think about the name Marvel?
I think it's
Marvel,
awesome.
right?
Marvel Jadrnicek.
Marvel.
Is it a girl or a boy though?
DC Jadrnicek.
Is that a boy or a girl though?
Marvel would be a boy. Marvel would be a girl.
You can have two like a boy and a girl.
Marvel and Marvel.
Yeah.
M&M.
And have it spelled the same.
We have
exactly.
one would have hyphen. We have friends that they're gonna only name their kids M names because they have both of them names, and so like whenever we talk about like kids names around them, and I'm like, oh, I can't tell you because I don't want to take them because I think I have good ones. And he goes, Braden, if it doesn't start with an M, we're not taking it.
Do you think they're real about that?
The M's?
Yeah.
Yes.
There's not that many.
It's dumb. They're gonna do it.
How many good M names can you name?
Marvel.
Okay, that's a good one.
That's a good one. I mean Madeline. That could be a pretty name. Is that a name?
That is actually a really cute name. Madeline.
They call her Maddie.
Is this a girl still or?
Maddie? Maddy.
Dude, I thought Matty.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be like that too. Or Mad. Madeline.
Monique is
There's
Monique
I have
is such a
cousins
name.
that are named Michaela.
That's a good one. Michaela's a cool name.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you could do so much with
Kaylee,
Michaela.
Mick, Ayla.
Mackenzie? Bro.
Mackenzie. Yo, that's crazy.
Yeah.
See, someone just spelled her name wrong the other day.
What would they say? MC?
Yeah. Mackenzie. Instead of like Mackenzie.
Yeah.
But also my fiance doesn't go by Mackenzie.
Did she?
Mackenzie.
Yeah, that's a
She
long
goes by
name.
Kenzie.
Bro, she's
Okay.
gonna have a
Yeah,
long
she's got a
name.
long name. So I don't know if should I say her full name? I feel
Well,
like it's weird.
You
But
can
let's
say
say how many numbers.
let's in place. So I was actually gonna be called Elizabeth. My name was supposed to be Elizabeth if I was a girl, by the way.
Okay, you need to keep track of my hands. Okay. Okay.
5, 10, 15. Okay. 20, 25, 20, 27.
I don't know where you left off. It was like I did this and then that and that.
Yeah,
so like these are not there. So 27 letters.
27, yeah. Dude.
I may have spelled it wrong though, because it's kind of hard to spell and then like count with the. I think I got it right.
27, yep.
I think I got it right.
27. Letters. Holy smokes.
Yeah.
I only have.
After she gets married to me.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about her.
It'd have been shorter if it was like her original name.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think I have 12.
You have 18?
What's my middle name?
Do you want me to say it? Do you want me to say it?
Oh, do you actually know?
Yes, I know.
How many letters are in there?
6.
Yep. So you know.
Yeah, I know your name. Middle name. I didn't know if you want me to say it.
So I have 18. How many do you have? Oh, you have a lot. You're competing with her.
I can't count. You gotta keep count.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I have 22.
Holy smokes, you got a long name, boy.
That's crazy. My middle name's not too long, but I mean, okay, all right. So back
6.
to that. Back to like, there's I know like Bartholomew.
Yeah.
That could be a name. That's a long name.
What are we doing right now?
What are we doing right now? Why are we talking about long names?
Yama is a pretty long name.
Yama. Onto the Kumpo.
But you're right. I think we hit it right on the head.
Yeah.
I like how we said
we still need a little bit more, like 9 more minutes
to make 30.
I think so.
No way.
I think. Well, just to be like for sure.
There's no.
But
way.
we can't talk about this. They need to know that we actually enjoy talking right now. That they
are
getting a full. No, that they're getting a full conversation and not just like we're trying to hit a mark.
Bray, I guarantee we've hit it.
You don't want to talk to me for 7 more minutes?
No, I always want to talk to you.
Okay, so what should we talk about for 7 minutes? Dead air. What are you doing, dude?
That wasn't dead air because I hummed or I ummed.
So, our church, Caeden usually has a talkback mic.
Yes.
But we now have a second guy that has a talkback mic. And the other day we were praying, and you heard over not Caeden's talkback mic, the other talkback mic. You heard a humming.
Yeah.
Like someone was humming.
Did you hear it as well?
I didn't know it was him. I heard a humming, but I didn't realize it was him humming.
Yeah.
And it's like, what was going through his mind to be humming? And then what was he humming?
So I was trying to figure out a song, and I was playing it, and I was like, hey, Bray, what is this song? And then he was saying that there's something that...
Oh, what? That he was trying to figure out the
song. And he was
song.
trying to figure out, and then your mom was like, all right, let's pray. And then we're praying, and I'm hearing... And I'm like, dude, there's no way this is happening.
Yeah.
And you can't, over the talk back, you can't be like, dude, pray.
Yeah.
You just gotta hope he gets the hint.
It leads me to think, like, what people do that they don't realize. Like, their tics. Like, for example, like Mike Tyson. when he fights, he bites his glove.
He's got biting tendencies.
Yeah. At least it's not someone's ear. So.
Yeah.
But
I
it's
can't
like
believe they showed that.
I think I have an idea of what I do.
Are you talking about when you play instruments?
No, like just when you're like sitting or doing or talking or something like that.
I think mine is sometimes I'll go. No, I don't do that actually. What was yours?
Mine thing is and I don't know if this because I'm a drummer. Well, I'm a little bit on the. But my thing is like sometimes like I actually did it earlier this podcast and I realized it while I'm doing it, but like helps me. Sometimes if I have like I need to put a sentence together, I sometimes like tap my foot when I'm saying it.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, like a rhythm thing. Like I did it earlier this episode. If you guys know what part it was, you can comment down. But I was like talking, and then I had to think about what I said, and I was thinking this because and then I like kept doing things. But I usually tend to do it, like do a kick pattern and stuff like that. I catch myself doing it.
You do a lot of beats, but there's actually something else that you do. You go into accents when you're awkward and you're leaving somewhere. Boy, see you later.
See ya, everyone.
Alright. That's what Braedon does it so much. It's actually amazing. So it's a
great way to go though.
No,
especially
but
when it's
like
like
you
an
don't.
awkward situation.
But like you'll say bye normally, and then when like it's like you have to leave and you don't want to make it awkward, you just go alright.
Or bye.
Boy.
No, it's just like it's a fun way to say bye, and they're left thinking like, oh, what like accent was that?
No,
like
no one is left with that.
No. Like,
Actually, yeah. I used to. My worst one was I used to yawn when I was awkward, and my mom called me out on it. Because like if someone was like talking, or if I'm talking to like someone, an elder or someone, I'd be like, because I didn't know what to say, but I was filling in the air. Yeah. It's like almost having a cup in my hand. I did it so much.
I get pretty awkward.
And then my mom, literally, I was talking to someone. I think I was talking to my grandma or something like that when I was younger, and she's like, "Caeden, you gotta stop the yawn thing." I'm like, "What?" It's like I've noticed, like when you're talking to someone super powerful, you tend to yawn. And do you also have that?
No, you're talking about it so much, you're triggering it for me.
No, it happens when you're an authority, when you're standing in front of. Never mind. So she like literally was like, "Caeden, you need to stop doing this." And then when I do it, she'd like point at me.
Oh, really?
She'd like, I was like, "All right."
You know, another podcast I was listening to, they were talking to this like really this guy like that's a chef, and it would like give me an insight on. It's so funny.
Go ahead. I saw James. That's not James Corden. Gordon Ramsay video.
Yeah. So I was listening to like a guy talking about a chef, and this guy actually like was one of the youngest ever on Master Chef.
Oh.
To get to like a final, Nick DiGiovanni,
that sounds
or
like
something like that. And like he has like huge YouTube following and stuff. I don't think I'd say his last name right.
Authority.
I don't think I'd say his last name right, but he like talked about the whole backside of like what it's like to be a chef, and I'm like,
oh yeah,
like it's kind of like interesting, cool, and then I think it also gives like explanation of like why people like buy into like the TV show like The Bear, like the chef thing, like the whole cooking and like it's a whole thing. And then they were talking about how he created he helped create, or he pushed Harvard to create a major that wasn't there. It's called food climate.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna just leave you hanging.
Oh, thank you. Shoot, food climate, and like this is my like a random last point is like basically when you don't have food or you make a lot of food and you don't use it, it's like it's really bad for like the world, essentially. Because if you think about it, This is a whole nother topic. Never mind. There's
But
like
like
a
give it
whole
like a
thing with
quick.
like food. So it's basically you take a lot of resources to create this, and if you don't use it, it goes to waste, and then you use resources then to
Mm.
like dispose of something you didn't use.
Oh wow.
So like the whole thing about like finish your plate. There's people starving in Africa.
Yeah.
Like there's a low truth to that because nowadays you're like, hey, you don't finish your plate because that means you're like potentially overeating. You don't want to
Wow.
overeat, like health wise and stuff like that. Or you just do smaller portions. But now there's also like the aspect of like,
Wow. I didn't even think
but
about
I'm not
that.
like a believer in that. And they also talk about like not having like beef,
Wow.
and
That
then like
not
the
credible.
cows like farting, like red meats, cows farting, put like methane out into like.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's like a whole thing, but it's
They're
not like
saying
specific.
gas.
It's not specifically the cows, but even though it is the cows that are releasing methane, I think that was what it was, to like the atmosphere and stuff. But it's the process of like all the housing of cows and like the like the farming aspects through like big
So
businesses and companies rather than local farmers. It's like a whole thing. This is like I shouldn't even brought it up because it's like a whole
they think that
warming.
global warming is
Climate
coming
change.
from cows tooting.
That's an aspect of it.
This is BC Procast episode number 54. We definitely fueled your curiosity, especially with that. Comment below. What should they comment down below? I was gonna say something, but it wouldn't be funny.
Long M names or good M names.
Good, give us some
Names that
good
start with
M
M.
names, and give us your first child's name that you want, so we can steal it.
Or type in how many letters your full name is.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Don't do the.
Don't do
name.
your first name, dude.
That's weird.
That is so weird.
So,
Dude,
good
did
M,
you see
good
Kelly
M names
on,
and then
on K-Love? Where she's like, what is something that can come out of like a turkey to show like,
yeah,
and
a
she said a
baby.
baby doll's head. Carlos is so mean, dude.
Yeah.
But
Did you? By the way,
feel
I
so
didn't
bad.
hear him do
Neither did
stuff
I.
you should know.
I was listening to it the whole day.
Yeah.
Nothing, I felt like.
Maybe it was super early
Yeah.
because he didn't want people to know that he didn't know.
He probably
Anyway.
no. They probably recorded it, and he probably sounded even.
By the way, we should talk about like K-Love one day and like the radio because there's stuff I think they do live and there's stuff I think they record, and I wonder how it all works out. But we should talk about that next time.
That is very interesting. We should get one of them. We should get
one of them.
I would want Amy.
I think I would want Carlos to kind of, just be like, "Hey, we have a quiz for you."
Where's Skip?
Actually,
Where's Skip?
Carlos is a cool guy.
Wait, do you know Skip? Were you listening?
But
to
he's
Skip?
not.
I know. Where did that guy go?
I don't know.
Oh wait, no, I know where he went. He went to another thing for like a friend or something like that.
Oh, gotcha.
No, he didn't like get kicked out or anything. He cussed on a lot there. But we filled your curiosity. Please type how many letters. We're gonna see who has the longest name so far. Braedon's fiance is winning with 27, and we'll see shortest and longest.
Yeah.
I'm so far shortest with 18, 22, then 27. But make sure that you like, subscribe, turn on those post notifications. I'm doing great right now. Make sure that you pray. It's always great. We talked about God's reflecting in God's glory and how to reflect in using God as your template. Someone hold me back, though I'm killing it. But make sure you pray. Make sure you talk to him. Read his word. His word is so cool, and it has so many good stories. This was episode number 54. We'll see you on the next one.
Peace.